Hi everyone, I'm going to show you guys how to make this cookie cat freezer. I've been super into Steven Universe lately and I just really wanted to make it, so here we go. Alright, before I start making the cookie cat freezer, I'm going to take a look at a couple of pictures that I have. I do this before I make anything, so here's a couple of them. To start off, I'm going to make Cookie Cat's face, and here I'm just using some dark brown clay and a paper template that I made, and I just used the X-Acto knife to cut around to give a general shape, and then I smoothed it out with my fingers. Here I have a picture of Cookie Cat and I'm just tracing out his face. I didn't actually make it exactly like the picture because I think Cookie Cat looks so much like Cat Bus from Totoro, so I was kind of mixing the picture that I had and thinking about Cat Bus. Am I the only one who thinks that Cookie Cat looks exactly like Cat Bus? Anyways, so I just took some vanilla and strawberry colored clay and I pressed it into where I had traced out his face. Next, I'm just rolling out some of that dark brown clay and I'm using it to put the features on of Cookie Cat, his pupils, and the space between his teeth. And after you're done making him, you're just going to want to bake him according to your clay instructions and set him aside. Next, you're going to want to make this paper box to cook the clay in to make a base. This is the template that I used, and you can pause it and look at the dimensions if you want. So to make this box, I just cut out some watercolor paper because I didn't have any cardstock, and then I folded it up and used some liquid Sculpey to stick the sides together. So after you've made your little box, you're going to want to take a piece of clay. It can actually be scrap clay if you want. I just happen to be using white here because I actually ended up painting the entire freezer in the end, just because I think it gave it a cleaner appearance. So you're going to want to roll this out into a slab. Don't make it too thin. I'd say it was probably 2 millimeters thick if I were to guess. But this is what's going to bake inside of the little paper box that you just made. And you're going to want to put slits on the edge just so it doesn't get too much clay in there. Right here I'm actually putting it inside of the box. And this is obviously too much clay, but you're going to smooth it out as much as you can and trim off the extra. To smooth it out, I'm just using this ball tool that I have. Try your best to make this as perfect as possible. I actually had to redo it a couple times because it wasn't as nice as I wanted it to be. And also that's why I painted it in the end, because I couldn't get the clay clean enough. I don't know if anybody else has problems, but like working with white clay I do not look forward to, because somehow no matter how clean I am, it always gets messy. So that's what it's gonna look like in the end. And then you're gonna want to trim off the little extra bits. And after this, you can bake it. But you guys, please remember that this is paper and you are putting it in the oven. So just watch over it while it's cooking. Even though polymer clay is baked at a really low temperature, you still want to be careful. And if you are younger, please have an adult around just to make sure nothing goes south. So here I've actually baked it and I'm taking the paper off of the polymer clay. And you're going to want to do this carefully because the polymer clay, parts of it might stick to the paper, but for the most part it comes off pretty easily. And afterwards you're going to be left with a pretty perfect little box. On the sides there's some extra clay, and what I'm going to do to make it a little bit more precise is I'm going to take an X-Acto knife. So here I wasn't quite happy with the smoothness of the inside of the little box that I had made, so I'm putting some extra clay in there just to give it a smoother inside appearance. And You're gonna want to smooth it out the exact same way that you did it inside of the paper. It's pretty self-explanatory, it's just to give it a cleaner look. Here I'm just putting some liquid Sculpey and I'm putting a layer around it just to make it more round and less boxy. Here I'm making hinges. You're going to want to take some tiny wire and wrap it around a couple times until you have a loop that's like 2 or 3 millimeters long. You're going to want to remember to make 2 of these little hinges. They are kind of difficult, but you just have to try a couple of times. So after you've made 2 of them, they should look like this. You are going to trim them down before you actually put them onto your box. Here I'm taking some wire, and this is what you're going to put the hinges around. So you're just going to want to slip the tiny loops that you made and put them on this piece of wire. And after you're done, you're going to have 2 tiny little hinges. Then you're going to want to put them on your box. I didn't have enough outside casing clay, really, so I just put a couple more pieces on and smoothed it down. And then you'll have something like this. After I bake this, I just sandpapered it down to get it smooth and ready for the paint that I will eventually put on it. Then you're going to want to make the door. You're going to want to cut out a thin piece of polymer clay that's the same size as your box. After that, you're going to want to cut out a little window so that you can put some plastic inside. And then after that, you're going to want to cut out a piece of plastic that's the same size as the little door. Now, after you're done making the first door and cutting out the little piece of plastic that's going to act as the glass window, you're going to want to cut out a second door. And the reason why you want 2 doors is so that you can sandwich the little piece of plastic in between the 2 doors that you made. It's just so that it looks good on the inside at the end. Next, you're going to want to cut out 2 little triangles. This is just so that Cookie Cat's face stands up on the top of it, just as little support triangles. Now, after I finish painting everything, I'm going to apply some E6000 on the inside of one of the doors that I cut out. Afterwards, I'm going to stick the hinges that we made onto it and make sure that they're secure. Afterwards, you're going to put on the little plastic piece that we cut out to make a window. You're going to want to apply some more glue on top, and then afterwards, finally, you're going to sandwich the very top on. Last but not least, you guys are going to want to put the Cookie Cat head on top of the freezer. As you can see, I've already adhered the support triangles to the back, and I'm just gluing the head on with some E6000. After you're done glazing the entire thing, you will have something that looks like this. I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. It's my first one, so hopefully it wasn't too horrible. And if you guys decide to recreate this, I would love to see it on Instagram if you just hashtag Mochi Bunny Tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye!